That's good. Um, excuse me. Um, yeah, yeah, that's it. Oh, let me put the link in the where's that? Um, invite. So yeah, yeah, all done. Hi, hi, welcome. Um, oh God, my back is killing. Got a back pain. I've got hip pain. Got a walking stick. Oh, um, oh. So yeah, um, feel relatively comfortable. Jumper there. I need more back support, but I feel a draft coming from somewhere as well. Oh, the bathroom door's open. Anyway. So welcome to the stream. So yeah, I do a Zoom meeting Tuesday at 5:30. I put the Zoom link in the YouTube community chat tab on my channel, and I do this live YouTube stream on Thursday at 5:30. I've put the chat link, sorry, the Zoom link in the chat box so you can join Zoom now. Feel free to write questions in the YouTube chat box as well. Hopefully you can hear me okay. The audio is good. Thank you, Dorth. Dorth. Sound is good. Thank you. So sound is good. Hopefully audio is good. We are good to go. My half attempt at decoration. My son did it actually. That flung a bit of tinsel over this tree. The title of the stream is Wholeness. Bit of a cheat since the channel is called Wholeness, but that's the title that came. So 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 this is wholeness. This is wholeness. This is wholeness. My mouth's like open. So this is wholeness. And and um Like this is whole. This is whole. It's not a divided experience or a divided reality. And so, like, what um non-duality is describing, pointing out, describing is that it's like pointing out the experience of when it doesn't feel whole. So when it feels like there is someone, there is an individual person, when it feels like there is a person, and it feels as if that experience of a person is true, and it feels as if that is real and that's who you are. And in that experience of this separate person seeming to be the reality, it feels very unsatisfying. It feels very like it feels uncomfortable. It feels like there's suffering. It can feel like hell. It can feel very, very difficult, very painful, very lacking. It can feel very heavy and unpleasant. And so that's the experience of being separate, of feeling separate. And I guess non-duality is describing that experience, pointing out that experience. And then it's also pointing out how that experience isn't like the be all and end all. Like it's pointing out that experience of being separate, of feeling like divided and separate, is an experience, but it isn't truth. It's a possibility, but like it isn't. Yeah, it's a possibility to experience life as someone, to experience life as if you are moving through time. And when that's happening, it feels like it's not a possibility. It feels like that's the way it is. That's just the way life is. That there are billions of individual people, and this is my experience and my story of it and my perspective of it. It feels very much like that's the way it is. It's set in stone. It's valid. It's true. It's just what it is. Like it's such a when that experience is the experience, it feels very true and very real, and there's no other way than this experience of individuality. So yeah, like non-duality is definitely pointing out that is a possibility, but it isn't it isn't the way it is. It isn't like, it isn't the only way. Yeah. And so like non-duality is like opening, or like it seems to up, open up beyond that narrow experience of identification with thoughts and stories of me. And so to go into then non-duality, to go into that other possibility, and so that other possibility, other than identified to ideas and thoughts of separation, of individuality, that other possibility is 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 yeah, it is. The other possibility doesn't take imagination, doesn't take a creating of something. It just is. It doesn't have to be identification with thoughts and feelings and ideas. There's something that isn't necessarily bound up in that. There's something that's free. It isn't a thing, but it's free. It doesn't have a name, doesn't have qualities. Isn't anything. It's so friggin' beautiful. It's so friggin' beautiful. That the idea of you, the idea of an individual person is not a choice, but it's not the experience. It's not like, it's not a what's the word, like it's not like a set thing or a set, it has to be the way it is. Like the idea of a person is dream. The idea of who you believe you are, this character, this personality is a dream. It's not the actual experience. I mean, in a way, it appears so. It is the experience, but it's not truth. It's not the way it is. Non-duality like what's being spoken about, this undividedness, this wholeness. Like it isn't something that you believe in. Like you may believe in it, you may mentally believe in it and go along with it mentally. But that's not really it. It really isn't a belief. You can believe it as ideas, the concepts of non-duality, the ideas of non-duality. Because you have to use ideas and concepts in communication. In communicating, you are communicating using human language, human concepts, human ideas. So it is a concept. It is a bunch of ideas. But that's not actually it. It's just a way of communicating. But actually, the belief and the understanding of it isn't necessary for what's being spoken about. It isn't necessary at all. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, or you agree or you don't agree, or you see it even or you don't see it, like it's not in that space. Like it's right here, like it's the movements of belief or not belief or agree or don't agree. They appear, but it's not it. It can never be it. No thing can be it. It's impossible to grab hold of. It's impossible to take hold of non-duality. It's impossible. So therefore, what's being spoken about truly isn't something that anyone can have or anyone can claim to have, or so there's this person, this mind that's trying to get something, get somewhere, trying to understand, trying to make claim, projecting that they have it, I want it. I'm in this place, they're in that place. All these ideas. But none of that is true. None of it is true. And I feel like, if anything, awakening, what is termed awakening, is this undoing, this undoing, this unraveling, this losing of everything. This dissolving into everything. This separate, seeming separate experience, this separate position, this separateness dissolving into everything. This illusion of separateness, this illusion of individual, This illusion of being the one looking, being the one living. This illusion of mental knowing. Thing of that. Mm. Yeah, so yeah. You'd like to if you have any questions, then you can about that, then you can join the Zoom link. You can speak or you can write your question in the YouTube chat box.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Um, yeah. Um, it's this is beautiful. It's I'm even struggling to find the words to describe this or like my experience right now. It's like for so long, my entire life I've been trying to like grab onto like words and sounds and trying to intellectually understand like non-duality. Um, and it was like it was just really interesting as the more that I surrendered to this moment, the more that my mind, I started to like, in a way, detach from like my grasp, my constant grasping at the mind. And
Yeah, yeah. The mind will try to understand this, try to work it all out, try to feel like it knows this and has this and feels some security in knowing it. That's what the mind will do, but that's not what you are. That's not the truth of the matter. That's just the mind's activity.
mm,
But when it feels as if that mind is who you are, there's that attachment or that identification with that movement of mind, that movement of that activity, like it's uncomfortable.
yeah, it is very uncomfortable. um, yeah, it's
Like the mind's like it feels like it's going left, right, up, down, going to the North Pole,
mm,
but it's not true. It's on the surface of the water, if you like it's doing all this, but like it's not moving as well. There's something that's not moving. It can't move. It doesn't need to know anything or travel anywhere to get something. So this really isn't for the mind. It's not for anything really. It's just like it's just spoken, but it's not for anything or for a reason or anything. The mind can't grasp this. What already is this. So there's no actual purpose for this. There's no purpose for anything. It's just what's happening. It's simply
that
what's
loss of,
happening. Hmm?
yeah, that loss of like, I don't know what you would call it, like objective, like it was almost as if like it was almost as if the meaning that I had in life, in terms of like pursuing something within this world, like a materialistic goal, like, you know, becoming enlightened and saving other people. It was almost as if like that desire started to slowly like disappear because it just became obvious, just that like even if that it's just what's like happening.
Mm.
It's so hard to like it's so hard to explain because this is my mind is it's just been completely blown.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But in that blowing of the mind, it's clear that there's nothing to explain as well. Like there's nothing
yeah.
to actually explain.
Oh, oh my, whoa. You made me just just start giggling.
Um, 'cause
Oh my goodness.
it's so complete and so whole. There's
Yeah.
nowhere to move with it. It doesn't explain anything or get anything or sort anything out. It's like it's already complete and whole.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, it can feel a bit flat, maybe initially a bit flat because there's such a momentum built up in you, in you, and where you're at and where you're going, and so this direct pointing can be a bit flat, maybe. And so like there could be an I don't know how to say it. Like there could be like a process of the seeking like unfolding, the seeking becoming more obvious and more like playing out more, unfolding of that. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. I wouldn't say though that this message for me at least isn't. I don't perceive it as dull. Like I think if anything, it helps like ground me. I see like just like the playfulness, like the beauty of this message. It's yeah, it's it
Really
it
beautiful.
it almost kind of reminds me of like the cosmic joke, but like but in a more like just direct way. It's yeah, because I think for me at least, since I've been very like hyper aware of myself for so long, my and especially with myself in relation to the seemingly uh external objective world, that with this like flip of the switch, it was almost as if like it was so like barely like barely noticeable. But then all of a sudden I just feel I don't know. I just feel more human now because I felt like a non-dual parrot robot, just like repeating all these like different phrases about like there is no you, there is no self, there's only what is, which is like very true. But I think I was like it wasn't fully embodied. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't like
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally, totally, totally. Yeah. That's probably common for lots of people that speak about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it is
Okay, I have to
beautiful.
go. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful. I have to go, but thank you so much. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for chatting with me.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Mhm. Oh, there's something on the chat. Oops. If I do that, it changes the Zoom. Uh, uh, I can feel the blissful energy through my cell phone. It's not really through your cell phone. I can't see your name. It's not really through your cell phone, but yeah. Uh, yeah. In the same way, it's not through the computer screen, that resonance. I think we like to give a position or location of where things are, where they're happening. But it is such a profound thing to profound message description. So profound that this isn't a divided, this isn't divided. And yet there seems to be that not perception, that ability. There seems to be that appearance of division. There's that play of division. Got a notification saying, oh no, I don't know. It's saying meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Maybe it paused or something. Maybe it paused. Now I'm blissed out, lol. This is all that's ever been wanted. Narasima. Hi, I have difficulties making decisions. How do decisions happen naturally? How do decisions happen for you? The decider seems very real here. The doer of decisions. Oh, okay. Um, how did decisions happen for you? Decisions. Decisions. So it involves thoughts coming up. So thoughts talking about what the options are. Thoughts imagining both possible outcomes. And then the decision seems to be made. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems to happen. It just happens. Options are contemplated and then a preference, a decision is made. Yeah. I suppose the difficulty that maybe you're experiencing is the mind like going over each option and trying to understand each option thoroughly and imagine each option's the outcome of each option, and maybe there's an over attachment to the options. And also maybe there's like an unclarity, if that's a word, unclarity, a non-clarity in a non-clarity in your flow. I can, yeah, like a non-clarity in your flow. So you're not sure like who you are, you're not sure what you want, you're not sure. Maybe there's that happening as well. Maybe that's happening. Yeah, the decisions here are a lot clearer and a lot more obvious. Like There's a yes feeling or a no feeling. Yeah. But I vaguely remember that being difficult. But it's very much about the head, very much about about not knowing who I am. And then it's the same thing really, not knowing who you are and the identification with the mind. Like it's relying on the mind so much. Yeah. The decision of not how can the doer be how can the doer be realized as non-existent? How can the doer be realized as non-existent? By by the 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 dying, say dying by dying in this message, by dying and dissolving into what's happening, by dying by dying into this, then the doer is seen, this illusory doer, this idea of someone independent doing and choosing, this idea of individuality, of personhood, is like it's seen through, but not seen through by that person, that illusion. It's just become very obvious and very transparent. Not even that, really. It's like it's yeah. Uh yeah. That tone dial commenting suggests duality. What? I didn't get that. Oh, at tone. Oh, I don't know what that is. I read that. It tickles me. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, what was the sorry in Narasima. Um, it's difficult to answer that question because it's that question's like hmm, difficult to answer that question because I'm not sure why. It's like it's just yeah, it's just not possible to answer it. It's not possible to really answer it. I could say just listen to non-duality, listen to it, but also like listen to it. But I don't mean to listen to it. I mean like listen to it. Let it like eat you alive. Let it take you. Let it like let it like yeah. Let it eat you. Pac-Man. Let it like let it eat you. Let life is it is doing that. Life will reveal that. Life will do that. Yeah. I can see my screen of myself laughing. I'll just turn the Zoom back on. It will set me off laughing again. I see it. I keep seeing it. I just keep looping around. Oneness, no Ishma. Oneness is commenting. So. Mm. Eat me. Eat me. Eat me now. It's just so impossible. It's just so impossible. It's so impossible. It's so impossible and it's so beautiful. The impossibility of that illusory person to get anywhere and see anything and realize anything. It's so impossible. And yet in that it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So fucking beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Person wants to realize, the person wants to know and see and understand, but This has nothing to do with that. The absence of that, illusion of a person, of someone, it's not true. It isn't true. It's not true. Oh. So, is there a decider? Is there a decider or is there no decider? Is there left? Is there right? Is there up? Is there down? Is there black? Is there white? Is there male? Is there female? Is there a decider or is there no decider? Well, like right now, like here, uh, is there a decider? Is there a decider? What's the experience? Is there a decider? Is there a decider? Is there no decider? Like both of those, even the no decider relies upon there being a decider, which I know sounds a bit crazy, but saying that there's no decider still puts a decider as being a real thing. It still centers there being a decider that isn't the decider. Like it's not, yeah, it just doesn't seem relevant. Decider, no decider. Like life is happening. This is happening. This is happening. This is. Is there a maker or not a maker? Creator or not a creator? That's all in the intellect. That's all in theory and abstract. And that's not wrong or bad. It's just that world of things is endless. That landscape is endless. So if I said there's no decider, someone could say to you, there is a decider, and then what? Decider, no decider. One day decider, next day no decider. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It's not the point. Not the point. That's your interest, that's fine, but like what's being spoken about here isn't about decider or not decider, creator or not creator. It's like what you asked earlier about saying you find it hard to choose. It's that same question, isn't it? Like, do I choose or do I let something else choose? Where do I sit? Do I sit here as the chooser? Or do I step back and let the decider decide? It's about you trying to find a position. Mind trying to work it out, get a map, and put the pin in. I am the decider. I am not the decider. Like it's not. the avenue I'm exploring. About what is it? Good question. Is it your question? Or did it appear? Did it just appear out of nowhere? Out of nothing? About what is it? Yeah, good question. If I'm saying that it's not about the intellect and the mind, then what is it? So I suppose what is being pointed out, at least here, is the identification with thinking and how that is an experience of being identified to thinking, identified to this idea of who you are as a person, as a character, an individual story, and how that is suffering, how that is a dream. It's a dream happening, a hypnotism happening. So there's a pointing out of that illusion of personhood that's happening, the illusion of individuality that's happening. And then at the same time, like inherent in that, I suppose, there's this pointing out of what isn't that, like what isn't, you could say pointing out who you truly are, you could say it that way, or you could just say pointing out of what is not story, what is not what is not personal, simply what is happening. And this idea of personal as appearing can be appearing, but it's not truth, it's not true, it's not reality. Yeah. But also I can say I don't know, and it's just this celebration, of this freedom, that inherently is, no matter what the experience, there's this freedom that is. All experience, or seeming form, or seeming division is actually that freedom, is actually that love. It's not, the division aspect isn't true. It seems that way. Like the plant seems separate, but separate from what? Separate from the perception or the imagery of the wall or the leg or the phone. So on the visual level, it seems separate. And it isn't so much that, the separation's more like not a visual thing, it's more like a feeling of separateness. Gives the experience a feeling of separateness. So it's more than just a thought of separateness. It's like it taints everything and makes everything else seem separate and divided. But it's so beautiful. The crashing or dissolving of that. It's so beautiful. Crashing of that illusion. Is the idea of death simply just another thought? Well, the idea of it is, yeah, the idea of it is a thought, it's an idea. But it goes hand in hand with that feeling of being alive, the idea of being something separate alive, then inevitably there will be death, and end to you. If you are alive, if you are something separate, then at some point you are going to the die. And so while you could say it's a thought, it really becomes energetic when you feel energetically separate, when you feel that you energetically live, exist. This sense of I am a thing, I have a boundary, a limitation, the birth of me, and therefore there's going to be the death of me as well. Birth and death, birth and death. Mm. When the body child is a child, that starts up. A lot of fear, a lot of fear about it. Fears. So it's this illusion that plays, this illusion that believes it's born believes it's living and believes it would die at some point. And it's that fear, while it's living, there's this fear of its end. And so there's this questioning of who is living, questioning of this sense of being someone who's living, questioning this dreamer. Questioning it. Seeing if it's true. Is there someone living? Is there someone alive? The ultimate question. Is there someone separate alive? Is there someone separate looking? Is there someone separate choosing? It's exposing of that. And the exposing of that one, the illusion that thinks it's alive, thinks it's true, thinks it's an individual, thinks it's independent. It's the exposing of that. It can't think itself out of that. It can't think itself out of that fear or that belief. I will die at some point. It can't think itself out of that and can convince itself, oh, no, I'm not going to die. I don't exist. It can't convince itself out of that. It can't believe itself out of that. Like it has to die. It has to die. It has to die. Like it has to die before the human dies. It doesn't have to, but I mean, like it has to die before the human dies. Die while the body is still living. And it has to die, which this is the funny bit. It has to die by the seeing through of it. So that's the death of that illusion of that person, that separateness. It's this the death of it is this the obliteration of it is this seeing through it, seeing through of its not trueness. So it's claiming to be individual, claiming to be on the throne of independence, the decider, the knower, on this journey of knowing, on this journey of looking just on that throne. And it has to be seen through, but not seen through by itself. It can't see through this, but it has to be seen through the illusion of it, the not truthness of it, the not truthness of that someone. Yeah. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And normally the question comes of how that's back in the same loop of how do I get there, how do I understand, how do I see through, back in that illusion, back in that dream. Yeah, so beautiful. This is like, yeah, so beautiful, so beautiful. Okay, so thank you for joining. um yeah, it's been lovely to share, speak about, express non-duality. um, Give me a like before you bugger off. Okay. Yeah, I shall see you next time. Bye. Thank you.